Everyone, myself Vaibhav. In today's session, we will be working with the indicator named Stochastic. This is the indicator which gives us the idea to get involved for the trade using the trend. Whenever we see that the reversal is happening, the trend is turning from bullish to bearish or from bearish to bullish, we can rely on the stochastic to give us a lead and get involved for the trade at the earliest moment, as this indicator changes its course fast, and that is one of the advantage of this indicator, and that's why it is so popular amongst the traders. So we will see how we can design and develop the algorithm using this indicator block on the Visual JForex board, which has been developed by the Dukascopy Bank SA. You will find this indicator listed amongst the momentum indicator just below the SMI. SMI was a stochastic momentum indicator with which we worked till last session. Now today it's the turn of stochastic. Is the indicator block, and we have to define all these parameters just like the case with the stochastic momentum indicator. In the stochastic indicator block, we have to define these multitude of parameters. If we count, I think these are 8 input parameters, depending on which we will get the two output parameters, slow k and slow d. And we are going to use the combination of these two values, two outputs, to define and design the algorithm for a profitable trading strategy. We will be working with different time horizons, or you can say on different time horizons. We will also be considering the 4 hourly time frame to look at the trend from the medium term perspective, and to execute the trade we will be relying on the lower time frame of 15 minutes. There we will be more concerned with overbought oversold scenario and reversal thereafter. So we will be using the stochastic blocks defined for different time periods, and we also have to determine the moving average type, whether you want to work with the SMA or EMA or other moving average type. You can take your pick, and all you have to do is choose from this listing, and that will be the moving average on the basis of which these output values will be derived. To keep things simple, I will be using simple moving average. Okay, I will give you a brief idea regarding the logic of the trade setup. We will be looking at the stochastic values on the 4 hourly time frame. This is the Euro USD chart of the 4 hourly time frame. And here, as you can observe, whenever we have the trend quite strong, we get these stochastic values in a uniform manner, and the output values, as you can observe, is showing this downward trajectory, and we want to take advantage of it. So whenever there is strong trend on the 4 hourly time frame, we want to look for the trades in the direction of the trend, and in this case, since the stochastic values are on decline, and we have fair consistency in this price movement, we will be looking to initiate the sell trade, and for that the lower time frame charting can be utilized, where whenever we have the reversal happening and we get the fresh crossover with within the defined output band, we will be looking to initiate the sell trade. So the logic is going to be like this. We want the stochastic values to be in between the 80 and the 20 on the lower side. So this is going to be the band. We don't really want to get involved for any new trade when we have the overbought or oversold scenario playing out on the 4 hourly chart. Instead of that, we want to trade only when there is a clear cut momentum in the underlying instrument, and that's the reason behind these defining of the output band. So we will need the last 4 hourly slow k and slow d value to be below 80, and also the slow K and slow D value to be above 20 on the lower side. So when we are looking for a sell trade, we also need the slow K value to be below the slow D value, and in case of a buy trade, we will need the slow K value to be greater than the slow D value. But the condition regarding this output band will hold true here. We will need both the slow K and the slow D value to be below 80 and above 20, so that band will remain valid. And as I said, the execution point is going to be dependent on the lower time frame chart, and here we want to get involved for the trade as and when we see that the turnaround, not turnover, turnaround is around is taking place, and this might be the time to look to initiate the trade. So in case of the sell trade, we will need the slow K and slow D value to be below 80, and only in last 15 minutes it should cross below slow K value should cross below the slow D value, and in the penultimate candle period, its output of slow K should have been greater than slow D. So in last 15 minutes, this change is happening. That means the momentum is turning bearish anew, and this might be the right time to initiate the sell trade. For the buy trade, after the 4 hourly conditions have been fulfilled, we will need to check on the slow K and slow D output values on the lower time horizon. And in this case, we will need both these values to be below 50 and about 20, and also the crossover condition will need to be satisfied. We will need in the last 15 minutes the slow K value has risen above the slow D value, whereas in case of penultimate candle of 15 minutes the slow K value was below the slow D value. So in last 15 minutes this crossover is taking place within the defined output band of 50 and 20, and in case of the sell, the band for the output values will be within 80 and 50. So we want the crossover to happen in the lower side for the buy trade and on the higher side for the sell trade, and rest of the condition, as I had explained earlier, is going to be dependent on the larger time frame charting of 4 hours. And here also one concern is always there that we might see extended period of consolidation on the higher side, and that's why I am going to define this price band, output band, where we will not be initiating the trade whenever we have this consolidation taking place on the higher side or on the lower side, and only after clear trend emerges we will be looking to initiate the trade. And also to look at the price volatility, we can take help of hourly candles or even lower time frame candles like 15 minutes, and define the price band beyond which only the trade will execute. So there should be sufficient momentum in the underlying instrument. Only in that scenario, the trade should be carried out. So I think it will be better for us to use the 4 hourly time frame, given the fact that our setup is going to be largely dependent on the trend in the 4 hourly time horizon, and as a result of that, I think it will be prudent for us to use the price action data on the 4 hourly candle period. So we will also be taking the help of last 4 hourly candle, and we will define certain percentage values or certain values in with the help of pip size for the default instrument, and only if there is enough of volatility we will be looking to initiate the trade. Let's now move to the Visual JForex board. Here the instrument subscription will need to be carried out. So first thing first, we will have to take the components, logical, if blocks, 3 blocks needed straight away. And this time around, we'll be working with on tick as our start point. We will want to see that default instrument matches the tick instrument. So default instrument should be equal to last tick instrument, and tick instrument should match the instrument of our choice, which is going to be Euro USD. Okay. After that, the position amount needs to be defined, and usually we want to limit it to 0. So only in the scenario where there is no existing trade on the account, the new trade will be initiated. So in this case, position info or position amount would be 0, and after that we can start defining the parameters for the stochastic block. Here this block will need to be defined on the 4 hours. It is going to be 1, all else will remain as it is. I had already defined this MA type, moving average type, SMA as SMA, so this will remain as it is. And along with this, we are going to need two 15-minute stochastic blocks. So for that, two more stochastic blocks will need to be added. As these blocks have more number of input variables, they take quite a lot of screen space. This will be of 15 minutes. Shift 1, moving average type SMA, again SMA, SMA, and here also SMA. Shift is going to be 2, and after that we will also need to retrieve the price action data, for which we are going to use the info component. Get historical candle. One will be of 4 hours, another will be of 15 minutes, and two blocks will be of 10 seconds each. value of 1, as we will be looking at the price action data over last 4 hours. This will be changed to 15 minutes. Value of 1. Here also shift value of 1. This will be changed to 10 seconds, as this is just simply going to be used to define the entry point, and this will be shift to okay. And to make sure that there has been enough of volatility, I think it will be better to define the requirement that in last 4 hours there should have been good enough price momentum. And for that, what we will do is take a certain value. In this case, I will be using the requirement of 25 pips, and the difference between the high and the low for last 4 hourly candle should be greater than 25 pips. So for that, one calculation will need to be carried out to define 25 pips, which then can be used to compare at the actual difference. Okay. Default instrument pip size will need to be multiplied by a, uh, a variable with value of 25. A1 into A2, and the output will be named FMP. Okay. So now we have got the bare bone structure ready for our algorithm. All we will need to do in the next session is to define the conditions using the if blocks, the conditions which need to be in place for the trade execution to happen, and also to compare the price action data. We will be taking the help of this calculation expression with the predefined value, and we will be looking at the actual price difference, and then with the help of that we will get to see if the volatility has been good enough or not for new trades to be initiated. So that's it from my side for today's session. If you have any query or any idea to share, you can write to me in the feedback section, and I will be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Do subscribe to the Dukascopy webinar channel to stay updated on the market development. See you next time. Till then, goodbye. Thank you all for joining.